Just what exactly has been going on with Nndm? This is a question that many people are asking themselves. I mean, this is one of those stocks that the entire internet has been telling us how great it is, and that it's gonna 10x, 100x, or 1000x in no time. What's more, even ARK Invest has bought in its shares. So seriously, what could possibly go wrong, right? I think that we should really break the issues into separate ones in order to see through clearly what is going on. So, if you currently hold an Nndm shares or if you're thinking about buying it, please keep watching this video until the end because we're going to talk about the reasons why its share price may have been struggling lately. And what are the factors that will determine where the price is going to go. Let's briefly talk about Nndm as a company. Basically, it manufactures small devices using 3D printing technology. The reason why it's exciting for investors is because the manufacturing process allows scaling up to be done more easily than in the past. Also, the fact that ARK bought into the company is very significant as well, because it gives this company the credibility and legitimacy that it needs. I mean, this is not the actual presentation that you would hear if you ask people working there, or to the very least, they're going to tell you that this is a very aggressive oversimplification, but for me, that is the gist of what the company does or what it wants to do in the future. The company manufactures stuff using 3D printing, and the products it sells are very high in added value and technology sophistication and technical sophistication. In the case of Nndm, the past really speaks volume for the future, or at least the present, because the company has been selling its equity to finance the operations, which in my opinion explains for the most part why its stock has been dwindling over the years. The other reason is that even if 3D printing is still a novelty in terms of industrial manufacturing process, for investors, that is a buzzword that has been out there for some time, and at this point, the concept alone may not be enough to create enough hype in the stock. This is a bit like the vaping stocks or legalized marijuana stocks that we've seen popping up all over the place back in 2018. They were popular back then, but now some of them may start struggling because the hype element is gone. The larger reason why Nndm stock has been struggling is because 2021 saw a large sell-off of growth and independent tech companies so far. Investors believe that the risk is currently too high and the valuation too detached from realistic assumptions for them to invest. This phenomenon doesn't just affect Nndm, of course, but it definitely contributes in breaking the momentum. And at the same time, it also reminded many investors how speculative this trade really is, and the fact that Nndm may have to rely on selling equities for some time. So, all things considered, what do we got here? We have a company that, I agree, is technologically impressive, but operationally premature, and at the same time, they have to water down their shareholders in order to stay afloat. Recently, Nndm announced that they were going to nominate a new president in the person of Nndm. Based on the announcement, the new president is very talented, has been a senior manager of similar companies, and has very extensive experience in the industry. I think that this is an excellent news for the company because the competencies and contacts of the new president match perfectly with the company's needs. But in my mind, the problem lies really elsewhere. Nndm is having problems scaling up its productions, from being able to print out prototypes to printing out products in large quantities. In the meantime, the company will have to keep watering down its shareholders, meaning you, us. The larger market conditions are also unfavorable to tech companies like an Nndm because investors are now less willing to dole out their capital the startups, unicorns, and growth stocks. I'm not saying if that should be the case. I'm saying that this is what is going on at the moment. I think that right now, the resource that is really lacking the most for Nano Dimensions is time. Time is running out and the product isn't ready to be shipped en masse. So in these conditions, is an Nndm worth buying? I would say that it's worth watching and very slowly building a position if the price shows some support. Currently, I think that the stock price is still in the middle of a correction. So I would recommend you not to commit the majority of your capital right now. Nano Dimension needs to show us that it has the capacity to scale up its productions and to stand on its own feet. Until then, the stock will keep watering down because they will have to sell something in order to keep the company going. So far, it's been equity and dream. I just hope that in the near future, it's going to be something more. The appointment of the new president for most companies usually means that it tries to reshuffle the cards. Even though that is the intention, I personally have doubts on the efficiency of this strategy because this announcement was made on April 7th, and so far the stock didn't really react positively to this news. Or at the very least, it didn't react positively enough to this news for me to pick it up. Let's see in the upcoming weeks if this is going to change. And I would say that more importantly, I want to see that the new president has the capacity to improve the manufacturing process to scale up the productions. If we go back in time, we can see that the stock price has been much higher in the past, and that at some point it got driven into penny stocks territory, probably due to dilution. That same scenario may happen again in the upcoming month until Nano Dimension shows that it has enough money from its own operations to sustain itself. Let's wait and see if it happens. And I think that the appointment of this new president is definitely on the right track of things. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel.